Hi everyone, David here from daviddumaiaudio.com, and in this video I'll be doing a first look at Boom Library's Recenter plugin. Alright, so Recenter is a software plugin that Boom Library has released. I think it was released just this past year in 2019. So let's kind of see what it says, what it does. So basically you're looking at recentering your audio. So instant stereo fix. Recenter automatically repairs off-center stereo recordings while keeping the original stereo width, which makes it an invaluable time saver and a perfect tool for professional post-production. Fix off-centered stereo field recordings dynamically, center vocal artists or musicians that moved around the stage, or center hard directional effects like drive-bys and stereo whooshes. Recenter makes tedious panning automation obsolete so you can focus on your creative flow. Of course, they got the trailer here. All right, so why don't we jump into Cubase here and actually see if it delivers on those promises. So for this video, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look at three different examples. I have a vocal sample where I'm going to be talking and it's kind of like panning left to right. And then I'm doing a synth, like a musical example of a synth, and then a sound design example. So why don't we start down here with a vocal sample that I took. And for this one, let's just have a listen. And if you're not listening on headphones, you should probably put some in, because if you're listening on your phone, you won't hear a difference in this. So actually for this whole video, you'll probably want to do that. So let's have a listen to this sample here. This is just me talking. Are you moving? Redo. Are you moving from left to right and then from right all the way back to left? Are you? So as you can hear, you can definitely hear like my voice moving from left to right, and then, of course, back to left. You can hear the panning of the voice. And what I was doing here is when I was recording, I was just moving my microphone, my stereo microphone, from left to right, and then right. And then I was basically, moving it around so that you could hear my voice moving around in the stereo field. So let's see what Recenter can do. So I put another version. So I just copied this vocal and I put it down here. Left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. So let's see what Recenter can do. So this is the plugin. Here, I'll do it from scratch so we can see exactly what it does. So this is a plugin from scratch. No preset, no nothing. I haven't touched any of the parameters, so let's just hear what it does. Are you moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left? So already you can hear, I think it's pretty good, actually. Like, my first impression is it's very good. It kind of works. It's not perfect. I can still hear a bit of stereo width on my voice. So let's have a listen to how we can fix that up here. So let's make it a little bit less, see what that does. Left. Are you moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left? Are you moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left? Are you moving left to right, and then right all the way back to left? So you can hear that's already pretty good. Now let's hear what this does. So I'm going to apply the multiband. Well, what the multiband does is right now it's just looking at the audio in one band, as in like one band of frequencies. But with the multiband, it splits it up. I don't know into how many bands, maybe 4. And then it applies their whatever coding that they have that's doing the centering of the plugin, whatever they have. Oh, here it is. So toggle multiband processing increases CPU demand, can yield better results if the signal has different directionality in different frequency ranges. So let's turn that on and see if how that works. Are you moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left? And if I take it off, from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. I think it's pretty subtle, but I do hear a difference. I think it is a lot more focused, and it really brings the sound a lot more to the center. So that's pretty good. So I mean, like right out of the box, I haven't really touched much here, and the sound is pretty good, and it's actually doing what it says it's going to do. So that's pretty nice. Let's see what mid-side here does. Mid-side input. Moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Moving from left to right, and then from right all. So it just sounds like it's like switching up the mid-side or doing something with the sides of the signal. Are you moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left? So I'm not exactly sure what it's doing. Maybe it's like processing just the mid-side. Are you moving? But anyways, not really useful for this situation. Up here we have intensity. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Sounds like it's not doing. You know what it sounds like? Actually, it sounds like it's keeping the position of like where it's moving, like from left to right, but it's like making it a lot more directional, if that makes sense. So it's keeping the direction from left all the way to right without having too much width to the sound. I.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. And of course, it's doing the opposite, which is interesting. So it's actually switching the position. So it's actually going from, i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. And then if you do it again, i.e. moving from left. What? What is it doing? It sounds like it's starting on the right. It's starting on the right. i.e. moving from left. Right? That sounds on the right to me. To right, and then when it says like when I say I'm on the right, it sounds like it's on the left. To right, and then from right all the way back to left. Interesting. Okay, let's bring it to 0. See what that does. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Huh, interesting. So this like switches up the stereo field. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Huh, interesting. That's cool. So I wonder what the difference between 0 and 100 is. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way. Okay, of course it's going to keep it at the center. So let's see if I put it at 0 and then I turn it off if there's going to be a big difference. i.e. moving from left to right, and right all the way back to left. i.e. moving from left to right, and i.e. moving from left to right, and then from. I don't know if there's much of a difference, but it definitely sounds like it's more accurate. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because I have this plugin open, but it sounds a bit more like the stereo feels more accurate. But I don't know. Maybe I should let's look on Insight. See if there's actually any difference between the two. Okay, let's do this. Bam. Okay, let's hear with it off. Let's look at the stereo field here. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Let's turn this on. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Maybe it's not doing any difference. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Yeah, so it sounds like it's not doing anything with the intensity down. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll leave it at that. The response or the look ahead here is just how far ahead you want the audio to look at. So I guess if it's higher look ahead, it's going to be more accurate. Response, I guess it's how fast it's going to react to it. So again, you're probably going to be using more CPU. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. 100% response? i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Interesting. I'm not too sure what it does, but for sure, without any response, it's not doing anything. And with 100, it sounds more accurate. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Oh, there it is. So the response specifies the speed of the correction. Lower values cause less artifacts. So it causes less artifacts, but it's also less accurate. Like you don't get that center image. But if you do 100, I guess you get more artifacts, but you get a lot more clear and accurate center image. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. And then over here we have our mono filter. So I guess this monos whatever is underneath. So it's probably like let's see what it does. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. So I have a feeling this is like a low pass, like mono filter. So anything that's below like 10K is going to be monoed. And then anything above, I guess we'll keep it stereo. i.e. moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. So that's what it seems like it's doing, because it's making the mono. So cutoff frequency below which the signal will be converted to mono. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a low pass mono filter. So anything below is mono. All right, so this plugin, so right now it's being pretty good. So I haven't checked down the angle and the width down here. So let's see what that does. Moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. which is cool. It's kind of what you expect it to do. That you're playing around with the width. So if I play with the width here,
Are you moving from left to right, and
so it's kind of like mono, but not exactly because I'm keeping a bit of width.
then from right all the way back to left? Are you moving from left to right, and then from right all the way back to left?
So this is, I guess, where the power of the plugin comes in here. With the angle, you can place the sound source anywhere, and because now I've gotten rid of the panning of the sound, right? I used to go right to left and then left to right. Now it's all in one center, like right at the center. Now I can place that centered sound like anywhere in the stereo field that I want, and it's going to sound
Are you
good.
moving from left to
It's not. It doesn't sound like it's moving. It sounds like it's staying at that position.
right, and then from right all the way back to left?
Which is exactly what you want whenever you're trying to play something in a stereo field. So that is really cool, and that's really good. All right, let's move on here. So that's the vocal sample I had. Let's do one here. So I have here a sound effect. It's like a, I don't know, video game, like you picked up something or you... Anyways, that's the sound. As you can hear, it's pretty wide pan sound. So let's see what it's like with recenter. Okay, so what I'm noticing for this one is with this sound, even when I bring it in, the width in, I still hear a lot of width on the sides. Like I hear a lot of clicks, whatever, on the right and my left speaker. But as soon as I put multiband on, maybe not. Maybe my ears are just tricking me. I felt like the sound was more centered, is more accurate. And it also looks, if you look at the graph down here, it also looks a lot more accurate with the multiband on. Maybe not. It looks the same. So what's cool is like with this plugin is like, yeah, normally you'll want to use it whenever you want to center something that is like maybe wide or not balanced stereo in the stereo field, right? And it can do that really easily just with the width. But then if you want to make something like really like covering the entire stereo field and the entire space or the room that you're in, like you can just do that and it feels like it's just like surrounding you, which is cool. Like it's so easy to do, which is nice. Right, so pretty easy. So that's cool because even though I have like this super wide, it still sounds like pretty centered because I have the mono filter on. So this thing is, the mono filter is really nice, especially for like bass heavy sounds. Like this is not exactly the best example, but if you have like a bass heavy sound, whether it's like an impact or a gunshot or an explosion or something, you can do a mono filter so that so like the bass is always going to be centered. It's always going to be in the center, which is generally what you want for bass. So it just makes the sound a lot tighter. And then of course you can always move it. Whoops. Like right now it's really wide, but the bass is in the center. So what's cool is like, so if you play within the left and the right up here, so you have the right and the left, if you play within there, you're going to keep within your like left and right speaker. But as soon as you go beyond that, I don't exactly understand what's happening. Huh. It's like, it's interesting because like then it comes back into the right side here, which I don't really get what's happening here. Anyways, it's interesting. I have to play around more with it to see what use I could make with this. Like when would you ever want to use like this? I don't really know. Anyways. Anyways, this is for like the sound effect. All right, now let's look at a synth here that I have. This is just a, whoa, sorry, it's kind of loud. This is kind of preset from, whoa, okay, turn that down. There we go. Preset from Omnisphere. I just picked like some polysynth, like one of the first ones up here. And this one worked perfect because it's panning left to right, So that's a musical example. Let's hear with recenter. So it's still doing it, but not as much. Like without recenter on, you can definitely hear that it's going from like right to left and left to right. With it on, you still kind of hear, but it's not as much. Definitely better. Let's put the multiband on, see if we hear a difference. It's still doing it a bit. I think it's a little bit better, so a bit more accurate. It's probably going to be better to use multiband whenever you're using something with more frequencies, especially like bass heavy stuff with a lot with like higher frequencies as well, like this synth. So probably musical examples would be when you would want to use multiband if you're looking to recenter a sound. So what's cool though is you can also make it super wide. Right? So super wide like that. So like this is just going from left to right. That sounds okay, but then as soon as you make it super wide like this, it's just like really in your face and like really covering the whole like all around you. It's really nice. That's pretty cool. So it definitely sounds like it's right in the middle. So it's definitely working super well. So what's cool here is like you can see like all these like little lines. I think this is like the original source audio. Like you can see it's moving around a lot. This is like the original source audio and where it's being panned, like where it's picking up the signal. And because it's on multiband, you see a lot of them. If I just had like one, I think you'd probably just see one. Yeah, you just see one and you see like where the audio signal is going. So you can see it going right to left, like moving back and forth between the two. Then when you do multiband, you have multiple of them because it's all the bands like moving right to left and moving around. So it's nice that you see that because then you can see like what the original audio is doing. And then here on the graph, you can see what the actual audio is doing, what recenter is actually doing to process the sound. So that's really nice. So this is really good. Like I can really control exactly what I'm doing and really control the sound that I'm creating with a synth. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this plugin. Like, I don't know if I would ever use like these four filters here, these four knobs up here. Apart from filter, this one is definitely useful, especially when you're doing like bass stuff. I would definitely use that a lot. Look ahead, I'd probably always leave it at 10. I'm not too sure I would ever use the response or intensity knob. I guess it's nice that it's there. I just don't know if I would ever touch it. So I'd probably leave it there. And then of course I would, yeah, like I said, look ahead, monofilter, yes. And then for sure, of course, the angle, you'd always use that. And the width, you'd always use that. And then multiband, yeah. I'm not sure I would ever use the mid-side input here. I guess if you had something like really crazy that you were working on or you wanted to create some weird sound design stuff or something, maybe I would use that. But apart from that, I would probably always leave this off. So there's a few things I really like about this plugin, and one of them is that it's kind of simple, but like whenever you have a parameter that you're messing around with or you're moving, you can just double click on it and then it returns back to its default value, right? And this is for everything, like these knobs, double click back. This double click, it's go back. This double click, it goes back. And it might seem like kind of small, but it's like it's such a nice feature to have because I have some plugins where like you move stuff around and then it doesn't have a double click option, and then when you try to bring it back to where it was, it's like such a pain in the butt to try to get it exactly at 0 or whatever. And this is just, you know, double click and it's back to where it's supposed to be. And yeah, so it's nice. And it's also nice because like if you look here, like it's pretty easy to get it right to 0. It snaps like pretty easily to values that you're looking to get. So that's a really nice feature. It might be simple, but it's really useful and it really speeds up your workflow. So that's a really nice thing. And of course, the other nice thing about this plugin is I find it just works. Like for all these examples that I've done and I've shown in this video so far, like it just works right out of the box. Like I barely touch anything. Like the parameters that I play around with is just basically to get like the exact sound that I want. Whether it's like too wide, then I'll tone to like I'll bring it in to so it's more mono. And then if I need it somewhere in the stereo field, I'll put it right or left. But like just opening it up, it just works. So it's like it's really easy to use. Like you just put it on and it works. So that's pretty sweet. A few things that I think would have been nice to add to this plugin. So if like Boom Library is watching, like something that would have been nice is to have like control over the volume. So it's nice, like you have your volume output here. Oh, maybe you do have out control. Oh, I did not notice that. Let's try this.
Left to right, and then from right all the way back to left. Are you moving from left?
So let's see. Oh, you do have control. Ah, nice. I didn't notice that. Okay, that's pretty sweet. So you do have control over the volume output, which is really nice. I thought it was just like a meter here, which you can actually like bring down the volume. So whenever you're designing your sound or making it centered, or if it changes the volume or whatever, you can always bring it down. It's too bad you can't bring it up, like you can't add gain to it, but you can bring it down. So that's, I mean, it's better than nothing. It'd be nice if maybe you could add a bit of gain, especially if you're losing the gain from the sound whenever you're centering it. But anyways, that's a minor thing. And another thing that I was thinking about is it'd be interesting if you could have like automation. Like right now, like I can't like right click and like learn like to like my mod wheel or something, right? So it's not really the kind of plugin you would want to use that for, because it's not a sound design plugin. But if you wanted to use it for sound design, it'd be cool if you could just like, right click learn, and then you could attach it to your mod wheel or something, and then play around with that if you were doing this for sound design. So yeah, that's again another minor thing, but apart from that, like this plugin is pretty rock solid. Definitely recommend you get it. This is actually, by the way, just so you guys know, it's just a free trial. There's a 7-day free trial version. It's on sale right now, so I'm thinking of buying it. I'm probably gonna get it because it's really rock solid. So anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave it down in the comments below. And I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.